All right, Matt, welcome back to the show, bud.
Good to see you. How's the angle? Because I see a little me, you see a big me.
Man, you
Is
look
it
great.
okay?
You look outstanding. And I appreciate you coming back on the show, man, and taking the time out for me. I know you're busy looking for a fight. You got the podcast, UFC Unfiltered. You're doing all this stuff with your gyms. So I appreciate it, man.
Hey, man, I'm happy to see you, dude. I know it's early by you, so we had to make this happen, right? It's 1:30 in the morning.
I'm persistent, though, yeah? I wanted you on there, man.
Yeah, dude. You know what it is? I think you hit me the last couple of weeks. I was in Texas looking for a fight.
Yep.
And then after that, I went to Kalahari, this indoor water park with my wife and 3 daughters. So
Yeah.
I literally just got back to my schools this week.
Yeah.
I taught the 7 a.m. class today, and I'm taking off tonight because it's my anniversary.
Oh, happy anniversary.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. And you? What have you been up to?
Man, just chilling, doing podcasts, getting the gym back going. We back open again, so
We
just
officially started, correct? We have started this thing?
You were started, man. We're rolling.
Perfect. That's like me. I'm making sure, because I'm with you. I don't want to shoot the shit for a couple minutes and you go, okay, let's start. I'll be like, dude, I thought we
No, I think we spent enough time getting connected. So this is episode 7 of my MMA headlines, which is just where I bring guests on to talk about MMA headlines versus just about you or the guest and the training and their stuff. So we just kind of cover the headlines, and you are one of the main guests I wanted to get since day one, but scheduling, obviously, I've been trying to get you and stuff. So it took a little while, but man, I'm so happy to have you on. You're one of the top guys I wanted for this. So
we have fun, man. Now, how is this different than your other real quick with Mike? It's still real quick with Mike Swick?
Yeah. And believe it or not, since the last time you were on the show a year ago, I've done right at 100 interviews, believe it or not.
I've seen some, of course, dude. That's awesome, man.
And so this is just basically a different segment, and it's the difference is, when I bring guests on for the podcast, it's about them. So it's about their fight camp, or it's about their, all about them and what they're doing. This, I'm bringing fighters on to talk about the headline news. So instead of two guests that are always like 2 comedians or whatever, always talking about the news, I'm bringing on new guests every week to talk about the news between 2 fighters, and we can just share like the news, and you give your opinion, I give my opinion of basically the biggest headlines in the fight news right now. So it's kind of a cool thing. The fans are loving it, so it's cool, and I think you have such a great opinion on things. I think it's going to go really well. I think so.
We're not bringing anything pop culture. We're not bringing up the new
Army
of the.
Easy.
Okay,
easy stuff.
Hey, if anybody's listening right now, if you want to hear my review of Army of the Dead by Zack Snyder, you listen to the next UFC Unfiltered. It's something different, but I like to give little movie reviews.
Okay.
So we're not touching base on that now. I'm just letting them know. First of all, it's a very good movie. All right, let's get back to some MMA headlines.
No. Yeah, so we'll catch that on UFC Unfiltered. So make sure you catch that. And I want to watch that film. It just came out on Netflix, actually. So I want to watch it. So I'm gonna look at your review, and then if it sells me, I'm gonna watch it.
Hey man, I got no fucking horse in the race with that thing. I just like movies about zombies.
Well, GSP also gave a good review on that one. So
what do we got? What do we got?
So the first headline is obviously Diego and Fabia. You obviously know the situation there. They split, and Fabia just went off the rocker on just trashing Diego, called him a drug addict, said he's addicted to like 30 substances, said he had sexual abuse problems. I mean, he's just like trashing him as much as he can.
That sounds like a good friend, doesn't it? That sounds like a real guy that's looking out. That's the guy you want in your corner in your life. The first sign of any trouble and anything, the guy throws you right under the bus, and he plays the victim. Listen, I smelt a piece of shit the second that guy walked over to my table in fucking Abu Dhabi. The second I realized what was going on there, I'm like, and that's before any of these other videos came out. Yeah. I didn't really have nothing really against the guy besides him being a wacky guy. But first of all, I didn't see it, but I heard that you talked to him for a long time. You, Mike Swick, you're a good guy, dude. You're a nice guy.
You heard about the 50-minute that I didn't say a single word?
Oh, dude, but that's amazing. Though. I didn't listen to it. I'm not gonna. Who the fuck's gonna listen to that thing? I heard you go. Yeah. I saw your headline. You go, oh, Josh Fabia talks for an hour or some shit. I go, oh yeah. Who the fuck's gonna listen? I don't think that's gonna drive up your views with an hour of that guy.
It was me. It was a Diego podcast. He jumped in about 1 hour in, and then started going off on everybody. And I just,
Wow.
I could have like, jumped in and said something, but I was just like, fuck it. I'm just going to let him talk. Cause I mean, it was so crazy. Like the stuff he was saying, I'm like, someone's going to find this interesting. And I didn't know it was going to go for 50 minutes. It was like 52 minutes. I didn't say a single word. Matt, I stared at the screen like this for 52 minutes. He didn't stop.
That guy, when he came over to the table, myself and Dean Thomas, he didn't even care that I was already just shit. Like I started to shit on the guy. He didn't care that I was already. He just liked that there was a conversation going on. Yeah. He would have stayed. It didn't come to the point. What they missed in that video? You saw the video with me and that guy?
I didn't see you and him. No.
It got a lot of views. I hate to say the guy's name. Could you edit that out? Anyway, but listen, that fucking numbskull. He came over to my table when I was with Dean Thomas. It's on Looking for a Fight or Looking Forward to a Fight, and. It was on Looking for a Fight when I was over in Abu Dhabi. He came over to the table, and it was on the same. It was the same trip where those videos just came out of him going to the fighters meeting and talking to Felder and Megan O'Leary and them, and being a fucking fool.
I saw that.
So he came over to my table. You never seen this, Mikey? This thing got 1 million views.
I saw him go in there and start talking to Felder and Megan and them, but I didn't see you and him.
All right, when we get done with this, you got to see that.
I'm gonna watch it. Yeah.
It's not even if you. I'm sure you'll see it if you type in my name somewhere on YouTube or something.
How'd I miss it, man? I can't believe it.
I came to my fucking table. I don't believe you didn't see this. I came to my table and I thought he worked with the UFC because I believe he had a mask on because we were. It was still, it's obviously COVID. We were in Abu Dhabi and we were at the buffet, and having breakfast. Myself, Dean Thomas, and Brian, Dana's security guy. So we're having coffee. Dude, now you got to understand, Mikey. This is the first time. This was months ago. But this is the first time. I think it's when he got lost to Jake Matthews over there. I'm not positive, though, Diego. But anyway, this was the first time I was able to enjoy a breakfast, a coffee with somebody since the pandemic. So it's over a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this guy comes over and he starts talking and I'm like, hey, how are you, buddy? I'm nice to everybody. I don't recognize and dude, I don't recognize, unless you're Mike Swick or fucking, I don't recognize anybody. I don't. A lot of times I'll be like, hey, man, like, I'll walk away and my wife will be like, who is that? I go, I have no fucking idea. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm trying to be friendly with everybody because I figured he worked with the UFC. He looked like a little fucking stagehand or some shit. I don't know. He looked like a guy, So he had his hat on and a mask. So then he started talking, and then I realized what the fuck I was dealing with. I realized it was that guy. So I didn't do him as this wacky because he wasn't with Diego, it was by himself. So I'm like, oh, Mike. It was like, oh no, this is that moron. I go, I'm talking to this fucking idiot. I go, no. So I try to be first like diplomatic, like, oh no, I understand you have a problem with the media, whatever, and. Good luck to Diego. Dude, that guy he wasn't stopping. Yeah, he wasn't stopping. He kept going on, mentioned my name. And so I had a little thing with him. You could watch it. I'm not going to do a play.
I'm watching it, yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. But, and even after, if you see on the thing, it gets to the point where I just tell him we have nothing else to talk about. You're not my type of guy. And by the way, Dean Thomas, we got this. Dean Thomas, that fucking character, is when this guy came over and he saw it getting a little weird, Dean Thomas started videoing it without us knowing. So it ended up you see it on Dana White Looking for a Fight. It's on the episode. But so Dean, that fucking wise guy, he caught this whole thing like a fucking ninja, and he caught the interaction between me and this numbskull. And dude, it got to the point. But when it ended on what they showed on the what the clip that you'll see. Was me being like, all right, listen, you're not my type of guy. Even after that, which you don't see on camera, is him go, but, he tried to talk more. I go, nothing, man. Nothing else to talk about. Yeah, okay. No. Then he thought I wasn't going to shake his hand. I go, no, I'll shake your hand. Take care. Like that type. That was the only thing they didn't show. So, like, dude, in other words, that guy would have stayed there.
Yeah.
And still, even I told him, hey, dude, you're not my type of guy. Good luck to you, That guy was still staying to try to debate. That guy will get any type of attention.
Yeah.
But he makes your skin crawl. You talk to this motherfucker. So you gotta listen. You gotta go to you gotta go with your instincts. You watching that video of him talking to Paul Felder and them talking that the way he made that shit. The best in that video, the best. Paul Felder, they handled some great. Paul Felder and everybody, but the best was Angela Hill. Fucking Angela Lee. I'm sorry, there's so many Angelas. Angela Hill. Because she's like, you're making this all about yourself. He's like, well, it might seem that way, but fucking dude, most unself-aware person out there. So I'm so happy that Diego, because Diego's dude. These guys know the guys to fucking. They're not Mike. He's not coming up to you, this guy, and going, hey, mate, Mike. Let me tell you about this AKA Thailand. I could change this whole. You get that guy, your fucking lightning legs would come up and be like, woo, 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 woo. You'd be kicking him right in the face, get him out of there. Diego is like, oh, maybe this guy will help me. They know who to latch on to. Yeah. And I'm not attacking Diego.
I get it. I understand.
Listen, he's still the guy on that fucking season 1, doing the wacky stuff. So it's like, that you got to remember a guy when you first meet him. It's still that guy. And that doesn't mean he's a great. I think everybody likes Diego. Dude, I think Diego's I just think he just needs the right people around him. And I think that dude was a fucking leech. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm way off, but I don't think so. Sorry, my wife just got home. You hear the beeps in the back.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm going to watch that video. And, it's crazy because, because so many people are trying to help Diego right now. And I know he was on my podcast. And so he was like, I had the conversation with Dan Hardy just on the last episode. But he was tagging, because he was on my podcast and because I let him talk, Diego, and then I let Fabio talk, or Fabio, whatever. They were tagging me on all their stories and stuff. So they were doing all this stuff where they were making fun of you and Dana and Joe Rogan for, growth hormone test, all this bullshit and stuff. But they were tagging me on there because he was on my podcast and he was trying to come back on my podcast, and I didn't want to do this controversial shit, right? And so, but I was still tagged on all this stuff. And I'm like, people are seeing my tag and they're probably wondering, does he support this or does he not? And I support Diego, but I was just trying to wrap my head around it, because it was until the podcast that I really understood something was going on, and there was some shit going kind of off there. And then from that point on, I was just trying to figure out what the fuck's going on and who this guy is, after I sat there for an hour and didn't say a word, and he trashed everybody. He said that Winklejohn gave his fighters lazy eye because he had a lazy eye. This was part of the hour of him talking, right? He literally said that he transferred his lazy eye to the fighters while holding pads. I'm not even making this up. That's just one. That's like a minute of the hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
Listen, that guy's a quack.
Yeah.
And it's great if there's no fighters that are ever going to align themselves with that guy. They'd have to be just an imbecile. But listen, man, that guy I'm sure will weasel himself in somewhere, but. Just to do that. Listen. It's good now. Maybe the worst is over, and hopefully Diego could just get some better people around him. And it's funny. I seen one of those things that you talk about. Diego tagged me in something, but I didn't take any. I didn't look at that and go, "Oh, that fucking Diego." I blocked him because I don't like negativity, and I'm like, "That's 100% this other guy." That's not
for sure. I mentioned that to him too.
I would hold nothing against Diego.
No.
Diego, I think, is a victim in this fucking thing. I'm not stupid enough to be like, oh my God, Diego, how could you disrespect me? Diego, I hope lands on his feet in this whole thing, and I think he can. I think he's got a. I think at the end of the day, I'm sure. I think he's a positive, good-hearted guy, Diego, and I think there's just guys out there that just know they know the guys that'll be trusting with, and maybe not have the people around them to let you know if you don't see that this guy's shady or this guy's a little off or what everybody else is kind of feeling, you're not feeling that, it takes the people around you to say, hey man, dude, I don't know about this fucking guy. So it's good. Hey man, hopefully it's in the past for Diego.
And the thing is last couple of podcasts, we kind of talked about this and trashed them out a little bit, but it's not that I'm just trying to trash someone out. I stay away from negativity too, but it's the point of I got through my UFC career without too many of these type of guys, so I wasn't used to it. But when I got into business, it was the same situation with these type of people, right? Like it was the worst I've ever seen. Business is way worse than fighting when it comes to this kind of thing. And so now I see this happening more with guys like Fabia. He's obviously the worst case scenario. So I just want to make it clear as much as I can through this platform, and as we talk about this in the last guest and with you, just to make it aware so that fighters understand and have their caution up, because like when people come and approach them as their fighters, you know, as you know, when you're in the spotlight, you were the champ, obviously, and you're big and you're winning fights, there's a lot of people that come up to you and they want to help you and they want to do things and stuff. So if we can just help like get a little bit more, you know, people a little bit more cautious about how they you know, trust people and let people in their inner circle, I think it's going to help, because, you know, this was a situation where Diego let him in too deep, and now Diego's just getting trashed out all his personal information, and Fabia is just bashing him, man. It's just the worst thing ever, you know, to see what he did, and he's saying that Diego took advantage of him, which is crazy, because he's the founder of the School of Self-Awareness, but he was not aware that Diego took advantage of him for 2 years. But that was his first excuse, that Diego took advantage of him for 2 years, and it's just like,
could anybody picture Diego like taking advantage of somebody?
No,
I just can't.
He can't.
I
of
just
course
can't.
not.
I can't do it. And you know, there's personally in my life, there's people who I feel, you know, and you in life you're gonna go through things where people wronged you. You know, you feel, but does that mean I go out there and start fucking bashing them and saying personal? No, you don't do that. That reveals your own character or lack of.
Yeah.
So you just be like, all right, you know, my circle's a little smaller now. And as you get older, what I find my immediate circles just get smaller and smaller. You know what I mean? I don't need any new people in that circle, because you don't need, listen, less. I like to simplify life. I really do. I like just positivity. And if there's, and it's a lot of it's cliche, like, well, there's negativity in your life, you cut it out like a cancer. You hear stupid shit like that, but there's something to it.
Yeah,
there really is.
Yeah.
Whether it's somebody at my academy, which is kind of putting a damper on the crowd, or bringing an element which I don't really like the vibe, or anything, you got to remove that shit. A person that doesn't like his life so much, he's venting to you, but somebody's venting to you like you're a fucking therapist, man. It's like, yo, dude, you got to see a therapist. Like you gotta simplify your life. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm using this as my platform to vent. But I'll
sit there for 50 minutes, bro. I've done it. Go ahead. I'm good. I'm well trained, dude. If Fabia did anything, he taught me patience.
That guy taught you something.
He taught me something. I'm not even involved.
Man, listen. All I know is when any kind of spotlight, whether it's fucking, come on, man. I was just watching that Freddie Mercury movie the other day, and you got that little Weasley guy that was answering the phones, and next thing you know, he started fucking flirting with Freddie.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he's fucking bail. No, you know, you're the guy that should be doing it. Dude, there's always that guy. Yeah. It's in everything. It's every part of, like, it comes with success. You know that great saying. Don't make me say that great quote from that great philosopher. With great power comes great responsibility. Come on, who said that, Mikey? Huh? Who was it? Jesus? Who? No, it was Ben Parker from Spider-Man.
I never knew that.
You wouldn't have guessed. I would have gave you.
I've heard the quote, but I didn't know who said it.
It's a great quote.
It is a great quote.
Ben Parker said it.
It's good.
Ben fucking Parker said it.
Good for him.
So, you know, he instilled that in Spider-Man. That's how Spider-Man never became a fucking asshole. So listen, when you do get, I don't know what I'm talking about. When you do get some success, you get people coming, you know that. They come out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
When I got on the scene and I lost by a spinning back fist to Shoni Carter, you know how many motherfuckers, because I was, oh man, that was before anybody ever lost to a spinning back fist. So they, look, you need a new striking coach. You need a new fucking, I can get you to this guy. And dude, there's no magic pill to that shit. I didn't clock in if you watch that tape again, I just ran at that motherfucker like an idiot. You know? So it's like, I didn't have to the hours that clocked in with the timing, with the striking, with the boxing, with the kickboxing. That was like on the job training for me. So I knew it wasn't about Longo. Longo's fucking phenomenal. Longo never told me to rush in with my hand by my hip. The fuck is that? So why am I going to get rid of this guy? That's a loyal guy that knows what he's talking about. That's what happens when people try to switch camps right away. Yeah. I don't even know how we got into this, but I'm just saying.
It makes sense.
Well, yeah, with power, like, so in other words, so when I actually started trusting in my hands through Longo, who's bringing me to sparring and making me just stand up, not let me do my takedowns where I want to add them in because, if I have that like safety blanket where if I'm getting lit up, I could just try to take the guy down and he'd make me stand up. If I got a takedown, I have to come up. He'd take me to Brooklyn, work with some different guys there and at his buddy Neglia's gym. And so it's like, now I get to a title and now all of a sudden, hey man, people are like, listen, I got this guy I can work with you, man. I got this thing, Broken Rhythm. I got this fucking thing. And they're coming at you with all this fucking shit. I know there's no magic fucking pill. I put in all the fucking work with the sparring and eventually got my fucking skills now and I don't have to rely for my fucking just on my jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? I felt comfortable after rolling how many rights and taking how many punches on my forehead. You know the deal, Mikey.
Yeah.
So, you get to a position of power and then these other guys are like, oh man, let me jump in here and not even, just maybe meaning well. Or maybe just being like, hey man, look, now I'm with the champ and I don't know. So it's like, I knew to keep my circle small from the beginning.
Right.
I knew Hector loved me and Ray. We all have like these guys, they want your best interest in mind.
Yeah.
Not theirs, my best interest. And you know what I mean? And in return, they get that, that loyalty where it's like, man, I would never think of going to battle without either guy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So anyway, my point is, look at the guys who are there for you when you got absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Or not so much. Because then when you got a lot more people are going to come on. I mean, this guy seems like a nice guy. You don't fucking know that. Of course he's going to be a nice guy to you. You're a fucking champ. Or, you know what I mean? I don't know. I think I'm just getting a little redundant, but
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you, and I wanted to get your opinion on that. And I had no idea about the confrontation between y'all, so I'm definitely going to watch that video now. So I got more than I thought I was going to get from you on that one. All right, fellas, you want to help the podcast? Here is your opportunity. You can save 20% now and get free shipping on the best below-the-waist men's grooming products on the market by going to manscaped.com, manscaped.com. Today, use code QUICK. That's my nickname, not how you use the product. And you get 20% off. Free shipping. It's a win-win for everyone. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels, and now they're available in Europe, Canada, and Australia. And yes, I actually use these products. I'm getting more shipped right now. I got the Manscaped bag here. Got the preserver. Got the reviver. The crop mop. A whole bag of crop mops. And they even give you this. So you can actually use Manscaped to manscape your eyebrows and your toes. Huh? It's like the best. It is everything you need to appeal to your lady friend. So, don't thank me. Thank yourself for going to manscaped.com, entering code QUICK, and getting your order at 20% off discount and free shipping. Let's switch gears to so another headline is, you probably heard about this, but Jon Jones giving birth to something big. Now his quote, yeah. So Jon Jones just he went on Twitter and said he's giving birth to something big. Now his actual quote, I have it here. His actual quote is on Twitter: "I'm about to give birth to something big, something out of the ordinary, on a path that no man on this planet has ever walked. Can't rush greatness." And then he left it at that. And so everyone's kind of like wondering what in the world it could be, because obviously it's not a fight, because that'd be through the UFC. It wouldn't be a sponsor, because a sponsor would have to do with the fight. Who would sponsor Jon Jones if he's not fighting? And it's something that no man on this planet has ever walked. So I was wondering, I didn't know if you heard about this or what you thought. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that, and then I wanted to get your thoughts on just the fact that he's not fighting, and how that's going to be detrimental, I think, to him and his legacy and his career, to not fight and keep that experience going over what he thinks his worth is and not getting that worth. When in reality, in my opinion, I think, and people will always say I hate on Jon Jones. I'm not trying to hate on him, but your worth is what people will pay for you, like a business. Like your business, the value is what people will pay for that business. Your worth is what people will pay for you. And he hasn't had a top 10 pay-per-view or a top 20, I think, even pay-per-view, and if I'm correct. So it's like, I think he should have taken the fight with Ngannou, kept busy, possibly won the belt, had some leverage, and then maybe done something where he tried to get more money or whatever. He's chose to set out and then kind of like possibly waste a year at a time when he's getting older and his levels are, you know, his prime's kind of going away a little bit. So I just want to get your thoughts on that, you know, if he's making a big mistake and waiting, and what you think this cryptic text is that he's doing something that no man has ever done and something out of the ordinary, and it's greatness.
No clue what that message could be, that cryptic message. No clue. I mean, I can't sit here and even begin to guess. If you know, I was assuming, like, with all this time, that he was putting on weight because he's looking to fight in heavyweight, so he's using the time to his advantage. From what I've seen in clips on whatever YouTube or even maybe Instagram or something, where it looks like he's constantly training.
Yeah,
doesn't look like on the couch saying, send me a contract and meet my terms. I don't know what his terms are. I don't know what he's asking for. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's not the whole negotiating thing. That's not my thing. When they get paired up, that's what I like to talk about. I don't know. Like, is it worth? I don't know. You could say, I mean, we could say, oh, well, he shouldn't sit out. I don't know. Maybe he has to get extra motivated to get in there, locked in a cage with a guy that could literally change your life if he connects with you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's true.
So
that's true.
Well, he doesn't need to fucking do that.
Yeah.
So he's, look, I might be good either way here. So if you really want this fight with me and this fucking murderer, you know, I want something that's, I don't know what he's asking. So I couldn't say, oh, that's ridiculous. I couldn't say that's not worth it. It's his body, man. So it's like, whatever he thinks that is, it is. Maybe it's too much. If it's too much, it's too much. That's what's going on here, I guess.
Yeah, you know? As a fan, I want to see him fight. You know, I want to see him get out there and fight. I do think he's one of the best in the world, and I want to see him fight guys in Ghana. I think it's a very interesting fight because I think he has a strategy and the skill set to drag him out. But then he also might be afraid of getting knocked out because he's had some rough fights here at 205 against guys that aren't as powerful as Ngannou. So we're either going to get a timid, John Jones, if this fight was to happen, which it's not. But I'm just saying a timid John Jones that's afraid of the knockout, or John Jones on his A game that could actually drag Ngannou out, get him tired, wear him down, and beat him. You know. So I hate the fact that he's just sitting out, but then also all these different things he's doing. He's always kind of trying to be in the headlines and say things. So it's just kind of frustrating that you know there's nothing coming of it. And I mean, maybe this is going to be something crazy big and exciting, but he should have gave more information, I think. So I don't know. It's a headline. I thought I'd ask you about it, see if you knew anything and what you thought.
No, listen, man. Like, I think some of these lackluster fights, not lackluster, like the Dominic Reyes fight, the Thiago Santos fight, they're close fights. I think a lot of it's due to John just almost not getting bored, but just not. You don't see him going in there like I'm not saying afraid, but you don't see that extra motivation. Yeah, you just don't see. I don't know. I don't see it. I see him. It's almost like he's showing up and still just beating the best around, or, you know, I mean, the Dominic Reyes fight was close, but again, he's just. What I think is, this fight does happen with him and Francis, you're going to see the best version of John Jones ever, because out of just straight concern, I'm not going to say fear, but I'll say concern of what could go wrong. Right. Where with these other guys, I don't think he felt anything's going to go wrong. I'm just, no disrespect, those guys are murderers. Fucking Thiago Santos, Dominic Reyes. I just think John Jones is so confident and cocky and like, dude, on my worst day, I'm beating these guys. That's what he's thinking. That's what I think he's thinking. But I feel on his best day, he could feel, look, man, this guy connects, I could be dead. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel that will drive him to just be, you know, the savage he would need to be to take out, technically. You know what I mean? So.
Well, I had to ask you that because this is going to be the headline. Just watch and mark my words on this. This is going to be the headline that we talk about and we have no clue about. And then, like, by the time that we get the podcast edited and posted, it'll already be announced and everyone's going to know. And then we're going to show up like posting a fresh podcast and we're going to be like, what's he going to do? What is it? This is what's going to happen. This is what always happens with me. So I had to have that one embarrassing headline that's definitely 100% going to break before this goes live or whatever. But another thing that I thought was very interesting is Ali Habib's manager Dominance, was on he was on Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson, and he revealed for the first.
Smoking the devil's lettuce?
I don't know if he was smoking, but he revealed for the first time that Habib recently turned down $100 million to fight Mayweather in a special rules fight. I think it was special rules where it was boxing for either 10 or 11 rounds and then MMA for 1 or something along those lines. But he had $100 million offer and turned it down because he's done fighting. That's incredible. I mean, if that doesn't say you're going to stick to your guns. And I know Habib, so I believe it 100%. And he said you can confirm it with anyone. You know, obviously Mayweather, he's the manager, first of all. And number two, he said you can ask Mayweather, whoever. I don't think he'd lie about it. And I know Habib, and I know Habib stands by his family, and his mom doesn't want him to fight. But that's pretty crazy. I mean, you got one, you know, his rival is the Forbes #1 highest paid athlete in the world right now. And then you have Habib turning down $100 million fights. It's pretty crazy right now.
Yeah, but is it, Mike, as we get older, is it, like, what is it all? Is it all about that? Is that what it's all about?
Today, yeah, kinda.
Why? It's all about 100 million?
No, it's kind of about these special fights, though. I mean, it seems like these are taking over. You know, these dragging MMA fighters into boxing matches and doing these exhibitions and doing these special rules fights. It's the circus, what I call the circus kind of thing, which is interesting to me. I'm not trashing. I think there's some interesting fights to be made that I want to watch. But it seems like that's what's becoming. I mean, why is Jake Paul one of the top 10 pay-per-views, and he's never fought a guy that even trains in boxing, more or less a boxer?
That's something that's a different conversation, which I'm glad to have with you. But what you're talking about with Habib, I don't think that's ridiculous at all. Why? Is 100 million going to change the quality of his life? What is his quality of life? I think he has probably a very.
He has a great life. He does have a great life. Yeah.
I don't think. You know, the GOAT, or, you know, he's up there with one of the best ever to ever do it. Now, why even put an image of you in a different light just to even tarnish that at all? And what will that extra 100 million do? Are you taking that with you? What are you doing with that? Okay, you take care of some future generations and stuff. Give them some lack of motivation to go out there and make it because they got a trust fund. But what are you going to do with that money when you're dead? Is it going to change? I'll tell you right now, if I had all the money in the world, if I had a lot more money, I don't think I'm still doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? What the fuck am I going to do? Like, how big of a house do you want? I mean, I understand. Like, that's what I'm saying. Habib's not about that. He's not about that life. You know,
I'm not surprised that he turned it down. Like, I'm not surprised that he turned it down. I know that's what he would do. That's a decision he would make just from knowing him. I just think it's a testament to him as a person. And there's not a lot of people that would turn down that kind of money for any reason. And I think it shows, you know, I think that's what helps, or that's what supports him being one of the greatest fighters of all time, is because he did it to be a fighter, and he did it for the right reasons. It wasn't like he was money driven. It wasn't like he was fame driven. It wasn't like he had anything other than the fact that he wanted to be the best fighter in the world. That was his #1 focus. That's what he aimed for, and that's what he became. And I think that, and this is just a testament to that, showing that he didn't even continue negotiations because obviously a boxing match with Floyd would be a tough thing for someone like Habib, you know, who doesn't have the boxing pedigree of someone like obviously Floyd, but still he could have negotiated more. He could have tried to figure something out and done something in some way to try to make it happen, but it was just a quick no. And I think that just kind of shows his character, and it shows why he's the greatest in the world, because, you know, if you can turn down $100 million and not even bat an eye about it, it shows you're a true fighter. And I think that's why he's sitting at the top and will always be at the top.
Yeah, I mean, because what you're doing right there is, especially in a situation like that, with arguably one of the best boxers who ever lived, and with special rules like that, is you're putting a price on your name and everything you worked for. All right, it's not just for this fight; it's for everything you worked for. Oh, you might not think that, but you will tarnish your legacy.
Yeah.
You know, it's a shame. I mean, it's not a shame because I think Ben Askren's got a different point of view. But, you know, you bring up Ben Askren to the average people out there, except the diehards would be like, yo, man, that guy mangled people. I'm tapping my phone because I hear my girls yelling downstairs. Sorry. It's a dad thing. But, you know, we know, me, myself, and you know how much of a badass he was, But most people know him for just getting that flying knee and getting knocked out by a YouTuber. So it's like, fuck, really? You
Yeah.
wanna like, dude? They offer me a lot of money right now. My knees are fucked. So it's like, if they're like, yo, you want to go on a boxing ring? I'm like, dude, I'm not fucking doing that. I don't think. Why? I'm just showing up just to get paid to possibly get, the worst to wear. And not to mention, I know that if I'm locked in a room with the same dude, knees or no knees, I'm the guy walking out if I had to be. Like, you know what I mean? Because I know I can still fuck people up. But I'm not going to put myself in a position where I know it's a losing battle or an uphill battle just to get some extra ducats there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not worth my. I don't know. But, people have different points of view. I understand Ben's point of view. He didn't really give that much of a fuck. You know what I mean? Obviously, by the way he walked in with that gut and everything. And he never was the pinnacle of the fucking Mr. Goodbody.
Yeah.
But you look at that back, that's like me at like 2:30 or some shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. How much could you really be training for this fucking thing?
Yeah, he didn't take it that serious, I think. And as far as the Jake Paul thing, Jake, I don't respect his attacks on the MMA fighters and his antics and his immaturity and stuff. But, I still would watch his fights. He's got me hooked. He plays the game very well and he gets people interested. What's your take on just him in general and what he's doing and how he's going about being kind of the Conor McGregor to like a times 10 to everybody? I mean, he has no limits. I mean, he's talking shit to the game. He's talking shit to Usman. He's talking shit to Daniel Cormier. I mean, he literally has no limits. It's not like a controlled environment like Conor McGregor still in a fight. He's just firing it on all cylinders at everyone.
Yeah, like, look, he's also a self-proclaimed troll. He even says it. He was on a troll. Sure. So it's like, he does like skits, so it's hard to take him. Like, I don't think is he malicious? I haven't really seen anything malicious. I don't think you should touch anything on anybody's like wives and shit like that. I think stuff like that, that's where it's trouble. Like, you mess with people's like family or say something. There is stuff where it's just all right. That could become something else. I didn't like those guys talking shit to Tyron Woodley. It's like, dude, what are you doing, guys? Like,
I hated
that other guy,
J Love. It's that guy, J Love, and like I made a post about that, and I never get in people's business, but when I saw that J Love or whatever his name is, who's a boxer, who's like a mediocre boxer who's been knocked out a couple times in boxing, and he was talking shit to a Hall of Famer UFC fighter, and Tyron Woodley, 5-time UFC champion. And basically saying he would mop him up right there. And then he was holding up gloves like, you don't know nothing about this. And it was just like, yeah, he doesn't know nothing about this because he fights in 4-ounce gloves. We train in those gloves. Like that's we wear those gloves to train so we don't hurt each other. And you do that to fight and actually in a sports combat environment. And that really bothered me when I saw that because this guy's like, he's lacing up Jake Paul's gloves. That's where he's at in his career. And then he's going to talk shit about a 5-time UFC champion. Like if you were successful, you wouldn't be lacing up somebody's gloves right now. You'd be doing something better.
Yeah, I mean, look, that just seems like it's low class. It's not. Yeah. It's not respectful, And Tyron's a laid back dude. He handles that shit better than everybody, better than I would have. It's just like because it's like, hey, you know what? If it gets to that, it's like, dude, everybody leave the room. Let's be mature about this, but everybody leave the room and let's have a conversation. Yeah. Because then the guy's not, dude. The guy knows there's a camera there.
Yeah.
He knows that people like even us months later or a month later, we're talking about it. Why? Because the guy did a douchebag move. Everybody knows it was douchey the way he was talking like that. So listen, people like to be famous just to be infamous. They're going to not do the right thing by people's standards, but they still get their name out there. Do I agree with it? No. Do I hate on a kid like Jake Paul, who obviously he's training? He's not bad.
No, he's not bad.
I mean, as far as compared to good, I don't know. Like, I don't know. You never really seen him with anybody. Right. And that's not disrespect to Ben, but we know Ben's not the guy's not a boxer. Everything's set to get the clinch and whatnot. But so until we got to see him with another guy that's like maybe looking to do the gloves or something, like a good, like young kid like that, then we'll see, something competitive. But until then, who knows, But he's definitely got some skills. He's not a punk up there. Yeah. He's getting sparring in, obviously. It looks like he got some rounds in with Mike Perry and this and that. So look, man, again, I don't hate on anybody. He's making some money. They got my money that night. Unfortunately, they'll never do it. First of all, it was so bad, it was actually worth it. That's how bad it was. If you've seen that event, it was like nothing. At one point I'm watching one of the prelims, which was horrible, and they get the camera off the fight, and it's literally has the kid from Saturday Night Live who was in the King of Staten Island. What's his name?
Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson's great.
Yeah.
Because he even knew that. So they have Pete Davidson and Snoop Dogg taking selfies, and I'm like, wait, there's a fight going on. I go, what the fuck am I? They're not even watching the fight. It was fucking great. It was the best. Dude, they're doing arm wrestling, and the guy Pete Davidson's taking pictures. Like, I just want to send this to my mom so she's proud of me.
Yeah, it was weird.
That guy hysterical. He's like, I want to talk to my agent. Fire my agent. It was fucking funny. Besides that, it was a train wreck. Oh my God. Yeah. It makes you appreciate the production at a UFC event.
Well, you heard like the commentary. I mean, not only Snoop Dogg, like I have respect for Snoop Dogg, but his commentary, like even the commentary when he had Mike Tyson and Roy Jones fight, and he's like, this looks like my uncle's fighting in the front yard. Like that's so disrespectful to these guys. And like these are two icons of the sport. And then I guess during the Frank Mir fight, De La Hoya gets on the commentary booth, and he's just drunk out of his mind or on something else, who knows what. And he was saying crazy shit.
Saw baby, whatever the fuck he's saying.
Unbelievable,
dude. That's an embarrassment. So I don't know, man. That guy's another industry.
Yeah.
That guy's obviously got some kind of problem that you know he's not getting checked. So I don't even know what to say about that guy. I just know that, wow, what a train wreck. I take it back. I might actually watch it. It is unbelievable how bad that fucking thing was. You know, for
me, I think the reason I have judgment on these guys that are like doing stuff like what J Love did to Tyron Woodley and stuff like that is I've been living in Thailand for so long. Like I'm not in the protected world of America anymore. You know what I mean? Like we're in a different environment here, and like you couldn't get away with that here. You know what I'm saying? Like you walk up to a fighter here, like a Muay Thai fighter, you walk up to a lot of different types of people here, and you start talking shit like that, you're in the hospital real fast. You know, there's no like you're gonna get sued and like there's cameras and like.
Yeah,
that shit doesn't happen here. You know, you don't see people that like run around like Jake Paul and fuck around with people and take their hats and do pranks and shit like that. Like that, you could get your ass in some serious shit here. So I think just being here in this culture for so long, and then I'm watching that, it's just kind of like, damn, you guys are lucky you're in America, man, because like you did that to like Tyron and like a Tyron if he was hanging out here. And he was familiar with this culture and this environment and this kind of like lifestyle. And that guy said that shit. I mean, Tyron mopped the floor with that guy in about 30 seconds.
Hey, unrelated. You smoke reefer over there. Do they cane you in the streets and shit? What happens?
No, they don't. It is illegal, but they'll take it. I don't think it's the most penalized drug here, but it is illegal, yeah.
All right.
They're really strict on certain other drugs, like the hard stuff, but there is a lot of people that do smoke here.
Well, there goes my dream. I was going to be like you. You're a pioneer over there. I was going to go over to open up Serra dispensaries all over that motherfucker. So thank you for letting me know.
They're doing something here where they're trying to legalize marijuana, or they're trying to legalize something in part to marijuana. So there is some action happening with that. I don't know what the status is though. But yeah, they're working on something.
Listen, how's your knees?
No, good. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm living good over here. Like it's fun.
It's weird how it hits you differently, man. My dude, you're still real quick with Mike Swick. I'm getting kind of slow with Matty S. My knees are giving me a hard time, Mikey. Yeah. I can still roll though, so I don't want to get the surgery done.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the knife. I have to get both knees done. Now, I see Michael Bisping, who I spent time around before he had both knees done, and he was walking worse than me. He would tell me in his awesome accent, he would tell me how his wife would have to pick him up or he wouldn't be able to walk around the mall, or he'd go somewhere and have to get picked up because he can't walk. Dude, I get it, man. My knees suck, but yet I could teach. I could roll. I rolled yesterday for almost an hour.
Yeah.
With one of my belts and my purple belts, these two monsters. I felt I put the gi on to slow it down a little bit, but I felt fucking good. Good, Mike. So it's like, I don't want to take a year away from my school and my mat time and just to be able to walk. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I feel you. We're not getting any younger, man. I'm training every day though, so or not every day, but at least like 5 days a week. So I mean, I'm staying in good shape. You know, it's a different lifestyle here. It's very low stress, good food, good environment. I'm living my dream. Like, you know, like I'm living my best life at 40. Like I've set myself up to where, you know, it's good for me. This is what I want to do post fight. This is my passion. This is the life that I've always kind of dreamed to have, you know, like the freedom and the things that I have here. The gym is my baby. I built it from scratch, from like an undeveloped piece of land to what it is now. It's not like I took over some other business or some building or something. So it's just like my baby, man. It's just been, you know, 10 years of work, but you know, now it's starting to really pay off, and it's really cool.
How scared were you during this whole fucking thing? Because we both, you know, we got similar situations where, or I have my academy, you have your fucking comp. Oh, it's huge. Your thing. What do you call it? It's not just an academy. What is it?
Well, it's a luxury sports combat training resort for everyone. So we're one of the first people in the world to build such a sports combat camp like this, built for everyone. So it's like, you know, there's a lot of fight gyms. Obviously, you know, you can't make that much money at a fight gym training only fighters. So I'm an entrepreneur. I want to have success, but I also want to cater to people who aren't fighters and who want to experience what it's like to train in MMA, what it's like to train in Muay Thai, what it's like to train as a fighter, but you don't have to deal with training with fighters and being intimidated and getting beat up and having to deal with that whole environment thing. So we do have a fight team that's very successful, and you know, we have a great curriculum, but mostly we cater to people who are just everyone, like anyone can come in. So it's like an excursion. It's 2 acres. We got multiple facilities all over the 2 acres: restaurant, Muay Thai area, weight room, you know, MMA training indoor area, BJJ as well. And it's just for everyone to come in. And so we get a lot of like executives, a lot of influencers, a lot of celebrities, a lot of high-end people that come in and want to just train like a fighter and see what it's like and have the same curriculum we had at AKA, but not train with fighters. You know, it's separated. And so it's, yeah, that's kind of what it is. And it's so cool meeting so many interesting people from around the world that come in, and they're so unique. I mean, my gym is 100% foreigners. So everyone that comes to my gym comes to Thailand to train at AK Thailand, or they're there and they decide to, but they're all foreign. They're not Thai, the people that actually pay to train. So it's interesting meeting so many diverse people from so many different places in the world on a daily basis. It's just so exciting to go to work every day. And like what you were saying, it was absolutely scary, and it still is, because Thailand shut down. So for 14 months, you know, when you depend on people to fly in to come train at your gym because you don't train the local, so you don't have a local, you know, student base. When they shut the borders down, you know, for multiple months and then make it very strict, like it's been for 14 months, it affects your revenue. It's cost me a fortune to pay the bills and keep this gym alive, and not only keep it alive, but I'm keeping it growing and keeping it, you know, I'm updating it and expanding it and doing things so that when we get over this thing, I'm going to ride that wave up, because there's obviously going to be a nice wave up when this thing's over. We got a lot of people ready to come travel over here.
Dude, let me tell you, it's not the same thing, because my revenue is all local people, but I lost one school to it, and I'll tell you right now, in hindsight, it's a great thing. And even when I first did it, I knew, you know what? That's why I was talking about before about downside, like keeping things simple. More is not always better, man. I had 2 huge schools and both doing well. Logistically, now most guys are just going to my one school. Once I shut down the other one, I'm saving 11 grand a month. So it's fucking crazy. And right now, so many people are coming back because of the vaccine and this and that. So now we're back. Now we're getting on that upswing. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
You know, I got gigs. I got my podcast. I got the show I do with Dana. All fun stuff. But my school, my academy is my retirement. Yeah. Like I said before, I got people to teach for me. I don't got to be over there this morning. Why I pushed this back? Because I wanted to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Because I get up on Tuesdays, I do the 7 a.m. class. So I get up at like 5:30 in the morning, 5, whatever. So I'm not an early riser, but I'll do that to go hang out with my people and show some standing up in posture and passing guards and ripping Kimuras. It's a good time, Mike. Yeah. So I feel privileged that I'm still able to live that dream, because it's what I do, you know, and it's a good time. So
Yeah.
You know, I'm happy we're both getting back into
Yeah, it's finally.
with that survive. We weathered that storm.
What's up, everybody? I am here in Thailand. This is the first time I've ever been here. Been dying to come here for years. Mike Swick, he's one of the big reasons he's been trying to pull me down here. What he built down here, AKA Thailand, is incredible. There's people here from all over the world. You can train mixed martial arts here, jiu-jitsu. They have weightlifting, they have cardio, and obviously they have Muay Thai, boxing, everything. I'm telling you guys, I know everybody wants to go to Thailand because Thailand's so cool, but you can't come to Thailand without coming to AKA Thailand. Come on.
And where do you see someone like Rob Font going next? I mean, we obviously got Aljamain probably fighting, obviously Peter Yan. We got other fights booked.
You know, I like Rob Font, man. I like that whole fucking New England fucking cartel. They're badass.
They're awesome.
Gator.
They have a great team.
Yeah, man. They got over there. They got their crew. But I think I'm always impressed with Rob Font, man. I think he's a stud. And you know, I think I would love to see. I don't know, man. I just like to see that kid fight. So you put him in anybody within the top 10, top 5. What is he now?
He's ranked right now at 3. And that's the thing. So Corey Sandhagen is already fighting TJ Dillashaw. So that fight, so the only people above Rob Font is Sandhagen, Peter Yan, and Sterling. And that's why I'm saying where we're going to go with him, because he just beat Garbrandt, which is 5. He's got Jose Aldo at 4, but Jose Aldo is older and on his decline. And then we got, Sandhagen versus TJ. We got Aljamain versus Peter Yan. So, I mean, and then back down to Moraes again, and then Frankie. So, it's going to be tough to see who he's going to fight next, but he had a great performance. I mean, that was a hell of a performance against Cody. That's for sure.
Oh, I thought he looked phenomenal. I mean, it was his first time in a 5-round fight. You wouldn't have thunk it. No, he did great.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just, and then, when he got taken down, he kept his composure. I don't think he took much damage at all down there. That's what I was saying. As far as with that fight, the one thing I think that Cody should really take away is he's got the decent wrestling, and he's got his hands. If he wants some longevity in this sport, I feel he should get that more control on the ground and in some nice ways to tie guys down, up your crucifixes, ground and pound them, up your submission game, up your positional game down there, and just your controlling on the floor. And that way, that could be a totally different fight, because he got into those takedowns, but there was no control or a huge threat down there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's almost like a new game plan he's working out, and like a comic working out some new material. He was working out that and it was, with a little better control, that could have been a different fight, or an unlimited gas tank like Merab or somebody.
Yeah.
You can get away with that shit.
Yeah.
I kept trying to tell Merab, and he's getting better and better with it, because he'll break guys. He'll just break them. Merab is fucking phenomenal.
Pressure breaks people.
He breaks people.
Yeah.
But my thing with him would be like, yo, how about one takedown a round is better than fucking 10? I know you like to do 10, because he doesn't care if they get up. He'll just take them down again.
Yeah.
He's that, and it looks great. But one takedown, we either work him over or finish him down there. Or if he survives the round, he survives the round. You're either losing the round or losing the fight off a takedown. If he gets through, he gets through. If this goes down for fucking the whole fight, it's a 3-rounder. You need 3 takedowns, or 2, or you get a match. So it's like, that's the mentality you want. If you don't have that, you need an unlimited. You need because dude, you know how it is. I mean, it wasn't really your, go-to. Because But you've taken guys down and gotten back up, or you failed takedowns, and dude, that's fucking dude.
Yeah.
I'd rather get punched in the fucking mouth than fucking have some 3 failed attempts, and you're like shooting fish in a barrel. Why do you think I took my chances with GSP standing up? I'm like, this ain't cardio day today. I'm gonna fucking either get hurt real bad or hurt him, but I'm not gonna be fucking getting exhausted putting this motherfucker on his ass and not keep him down and whatever. So I don't know.
And it's ironic because the same night that you fought GSP, speaking of this whole situation, that's how I lost my number one contender fight to fight Anderson Silva against Yushin Okami, was because Yushin Okami managed to take me down and hold me, and it was like 1-1 going into the third round. And then the third round, he held me down for like 3 minutes, and I couldn't get up. And until the last 45 seconds, I ended up on top, but it was just too little, too late. So I actually lost because of that exact reason. And it's funny.
I remember, I don't know why this comes out to me, because I remember watching, I guess, the whole event again. And I remember, like, in between rounds, like something like, yo, he's saying how strong he was. You were like, he's strong.
I hate
Something
that,
like
bro.
that.
Dude, there's nothing I hate more in my whole career than that. Like, there's been so many things, but people are so between the first and the second round, we had a strategy against Yushin Okami, and I've always been very strong for my size. How I look, I'm stronger than I look, I guess you could say. So I've been able to kind of manhandle people pretty well and do certain things. And we had a strategy against Yushin Okami. And when I fought him, as you know, he's a gigantic guy. He's a very huge, strong guy that not many people knew much about, and I didn't either. And when I went through the first round and he got me down and he won the first round through the takedown and positioning, I told Bob Cook, my corner, that he's too strong to keep the strategy. Is basically what I said. Yeah. But the world heard me saying that he's so strong. So then they start, after the fight's over with, they're like, oh, you were broken after the first round because he was so strong and all this stuff. But what they don't realize is we changed our strategy. I went out in the second round and completely dominated and won the round. In fact, I knocked him down and almost finished him, and I ended the round holding his head to on the canvas, punching it as the bell rang. So, like, it was my best round after I said that. All I did was change my strategy up, and I had to tell my corner, we can't out clinch this guy and out wrestle him. I mean, he's strong. This guy, when he grabs me, there's not a lot I can do. He's taken me down multiple times already, and he's strong on top. So we're going to have to stay on the outside and use our striking. And then we went into the third round with the same game plan, started out okay. He leg tripped me in a weird, it was even a weird takedown or something. And then, I couldn't get up. He had good top game. And he spent like 3 minutes on top of me trying to get up. And then the funny thing was, like, I think we talked about this in the first time we had the podcast, but he actually wore himself completely out, punching me in the face. Like, I wish I had known that was a potential from the first round, because I would have let him do that. I wouldn't have covered up so much, because he literally punched me so many times in the face, and I had some cauliflower ear, but it wasn't like rocking me or anything. It wasn't like damage. He exhausted himself completely from punching me in the face. I reversed him. I ended up on top, and then for 45 seconds, I ground and pounded him until the end of the fight. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I would have definitely taken those punches in the first round to let him get worn out and then have a better fight. But, too little, too late. But it's funny how that happened.
People remember certain things. You said all that. I remember that stupid fucking line I just told you. I was all over Shoney Carter. First omoplata attempt ever. You think people talk about that?
Yeah.
You think they talk about the 10 seconds when I got back fisted?
Yeah.
So listen, man, the game we play, you know that. It's fucking crazy.
So the last thing real fast I want to ask you is, so it just came out just today actually that Olivier, obviously the champion, is counted as an underdog now by most betting sites against Poirier and Conor. So do you agree with that? Do you think that he should be an underdog to either one or both of those guys? And do you think he has a chance of beating either one of those guys, or vice versa?
Do I think he has a chance of beating either one of those guys? Absolutely. I mean, look what he just he's never looked better. I mean, it's fair to say that.
Two fights, yeah.
I don't know if it just took this long for his fight IQ to catch up to his skill set or whatever it is. The belief is there. I don't know, but he had to talk about dealing with adversity in that title fight with Michael Chandler. I was there, and I thought, man, this is over in the first round. That's how, because Michael Chandler's the guy, when he gets you hurt, he could be this close to you, but with those little arms, that's like a fucking little bat whack. He gets good leverage, really short, like small spaces. So I'm like, yo, this is just gonna be done. So for him to come back, and if you look at his feet placement with that left hook, it was almost perfect. It was like beautiful. Yeah. It was just so well placed that it's like he didn't look desperate to try to grapple him again, and even though he's getting rocked standing. So he's very well-rounded, very dangerous. I mean, he has a lot of ways to win versus either guy, but we've also seen him get finished. In his last fight, we just seen him get hurt. So I can understand people thinking, all right, maybe Conor could just be accurate enough to get him out of there. What if he doesn't?
Right.
What if he just tries to grapple him in the first round? Conor fights it off. Now he's got a little bit more blood going in those shoulders. And now Oliveira's no slouch standing. So that gets competitive. And now this one time he gets around his fucking neck. You know what I mean? I'll tell you, I think Conor matches up worse with him than Dustin.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You know,
Connor's a fast starter. I mean, he's powerful from the start, but I think with what Oliveira has shown in these last couple fights, with his strategy and his IQ, like you said, I think he would expect that and be prepared, and then he could drag it out. I think so, in my opinion.
He's awesome. He's absolutely awesome. I love his jiu-jitsu. I love his striking. And I love his story. And I love seeing him on Instagram on top of a fire truck in Brazil, man. I love that shit.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear your breakdown on that, and I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. So, yeah, I mean, that's all I got for headlines for you. Anything you got? It's about a year between our podcasts, so you got anything for me? Any tips or questions or whatever? You're my mentor, because remember a year ago you were like coaching me along as I was starting my podcast back up, and here I am 100 interviews later. So what do you got for me, Coach?
Well, dude, obviously you're doing something right. I mean, come on, man. You know, I've seen your. I've seen you on YouTube where I jumped on watched some of the podcast. It looks like it's going very natural for you. Good luck with this thing with the MMA. What are you calling it? Something different? What are you calling it?
It's just a segment. I mean, it's just MMA headlines. But I mean, I'm still doing the podcast the same. I'm just adding a new segment. That's all.
Dude,
Mixing
you're one
it
of those guys, man, where you got a bunch of different things in the fire there. You're that guy. You know, I'm trying to take more out, less out. I'm taking more off my plate. Wait. Yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like to get, I'll tell you, guys like you, Dean Thomas. What about Dean Thomas?
I've been dealing with Dean. I've been actually talking with Dean lately, and I haven't really dealt with him a lot in the past, but I'm working with him on some of this new stuff that he's working on. I'm sure you're aware of. So we're working on some stuff from here in Thailand as well. So I've been actually talking to him on the phone almost every night. He's a cool guy, man.
He's the guy that, you know, he's always moving.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy
he's a hustler.
He's getting the shine that he deserves, because there's not a lot of guys that could do what Dean Thomas is doing, because he's got not only the fight IQ, the knowledge, he's been in the game, great fighter himself. He was a tremendous fighter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's got a victory over me, but he's a tremendous fighter. But he's also funny as shit. He's got a personality.
He does.
He's a funny dude. I like hanging out with Dean Thomas. Don't let him hear this, because I don't like when he hears me giving him compliments. I like breaking his balls. But I'll tell you, I hope the show Dana White Looking for a Fight goes on forever, because basically it's me chilling out with fucking Dana and Dean.
Yeah,
and we get along well. So we have a fucking great time. So yeah, you know, I'm sure I'll talk to him soon. So that's great, man. But hey, man, Mikey, all my best. Anybody who's listening to your podcast, they want to hear some more MMA stuff and maybe some silly, goofy shit, listen to UFC Unfiltered.
Absolutely.
With myself, Norton. I'm doing cameo. Do you ever do cameos?
No, I never done it.
It's not bad, Mike. It's not bad. You listen, I earn my money with that shit. I'm singing happy birthday. I try to earn it.
My birthday's coming up, man. June 19th. June 19th. I'm going to get you to sing me happy birthday, dude.
I'm also a Gemini. You're a Gemini.
Yeah, June 19th.
How old are you going to be?
42.
All right. Not bad. I'm going to be June 2nd. I'm going to be 47.
Wow, really?
47. Come on, man. That's crazy.
I didn't put you on 47.
47's fucked up. No?
No, man. Dude, old is cool right now. If you look at 50 years ago, man, in the 40s, those guys were old, man. But now it's like every leading man in Hollywood and all your stars and celebrities, they're all in their 40s, man. 40s is cool, dude.
And you know what's funny, man? Like, I'm on that TRT. I know you're probably, I don't know, you're probably just drinking your coconuts, whatever you're doing over there. But
thanks for the save there, yeah.
Listen, you're in good shape. You're that guy. But me, I remember a while ago, I went and I got tested. I was like, my testosterone was at like 300. It was fucking horrible. And I was just fucking, that's probably when I was at my chubbiest. So I'm on TRT. That's probably one of the things that I got, that Diego's and whatever his coach.
It's
like,
legal. Like, that's the thing I didn't understand. He was bashing y'all, but it's like perfectly legal. There's clinics all over America.
I'm open about that.
Yeah, like, it's legal. Yeah.
I blocked them because I don't like negativity. But I'm on TRT. I'll tell everybody. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
As a guy who's almost 50, if I was fucking 25 or 30 doing it, I'd be a fucking asshole. But I'm not competing. I like to stay in shape by training and rolling and doing my push-ups and sit-ups. I feel fucking good. I walk around more comfortable with my shirt off now. I just told you I was at the water park with my kids. I feel a lot better than when I was in my 20s and 30s. I get a little fucking chubby because I eat the pasta.
Yeah.
It helps that I'm a gluten-free thing. But anyway, I love that TRT. I go to a doctor. They take my levels. They check my bloods every 6 weeks. I'm not doing that by myself. I'm not in some dark alley somewhere with a fucking dirty needle sticking in my ass. It's not me.
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, I recommend it. Anybody around our age, just a little bit older than you, testosterone replacement therapy.
Yeah, there's clinics all over America.
Yeah, man, you gotta listen. We got one life to live, bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, Mikey, thanks for having me, man.
Hey, man, thanks for you're a busy man. I really appreciate it, man. I love talking to you. I love having you on the podcast. You're one of my favorite guests, man. So, like, thank you so much for taking time out. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank goodness for Mrs. Sarah, because she got my. Technically, I don't know if you know this. I'm very good in VR, but technically, I'm not a good technical guy with the whole electronics. So I had problems with my Skype, but we made this thing happen. And anytime you want me to come on again, or else you come on Unfiltered, we'll hang out again soon.
It's always great, Matt. I appreciate it, buddy.
No problem, bro. Good to see you, man.
I'll talk to you soon.
Later, Mike.